Now, maybe you can't pay. Maybe you can't pay $20,000 or $18,000 a year. Here's an example of $10,000 a year. If you're only putting in $10,000 a year, then the IRS only requires you to buy $165,486 of life insurance. I know it's a weird number, but that's the lowest amount of life insurance you can get away with without creating a MEC. So in order to still make the IRS happy, you have to buy $165,000. But notice that that's less because we're contributing less, okay? Which means that our expenses are also less, which means that our interest is also less, and our account value is also less. And if we scroll down, our income is also less, but it's still double the amount that you would get in the 4% rule. Same concept. This can work for any budget. Whatever budget you have, the minimum for most companies is $50,000 to $100,000 of life insurance. So you have to at least buy $50,000 to $100,000 of life insurance. So this might not work if you're 60 years old and you only want to put in $50 a month. So there is some limits, but you could do this for your kids, grandkids. You could do it for people that are in their 60s, 70s. It doesn't matter. This still works. Okay? Same concept. Let's look at another one. Let's look at a 50-year-old that's a little bit behind, or they want to start moving money over into one of these life insurance plans. Now, you can't move your 401k money into one of these unless you're past 59 and a half. So you can't move your money from an IRA or a 401k into the life insurance because they're taxed differently, okay? So this is a 50-year-old that's going to start moving maybe some money that they have in a brokerage account so that they don't have to pay taxes anymore. Or maybe they're just trying to make up for lost time. Maybe they're trying to catch up on retirement. Maybe they're a high income earner and they're putting in $60,000 a year, but they're done. After 10 years, they're done. So after they're done, what happens to the insurance? We can reduce the insurance. Now, this $60,000 a year requires $750,280 of life insurance so that it's not a MEC. That is what we call maximum efficient. This means that the apartment is at 100% occupancy. You don't have to put in $60,000 a year. That's the maximum. The minimum would be the expenses. Okay? Now, yes, the expenses are high in the beginning, but if you had $1 million, if you had $1 million in a brokerage account at 1%, you would be paying at least $10,000 in management fees plus taxes. And in this example, with $1 million, you're only paying about $1,000. That's like 0.1%. The fees are just front loaded and then they're low over time. In fact, let's go ahead and scroll down and let's look down here. Our expenses compared to our interest is much lower. Okay? Much lower. It works great. We're continuing to take all this money, borrowing the money, income tax free in retirement. So when we die, we have $6 million. We owe the insurance company $5.5 million. That comes out of our $6 million. We leave our family $670,000, which is our account value minus our loan balance plus our life insurance equals the death benefit. Now, how in the world can the insurance company afford to do this? How can you invest $600,000, spend $2.4 million in retirement and still end up with $670,000 when you die? Well, The insurance company is going to collect $365,000 of expenses and they're going to collect $3.1 million of loan interest when you die. That's like being a mortgage company. That's a lot of interest. That is profit to the insurance company. And the loan was secured by your money the entire time. I forgot to mention something very, very, very important. I should have mentioned this earlier. You are never, ever in debt. This would make Dave Ramsey happy even, because you are never in debt. You always have more money than what you owe. You cannot borrow more than what you have to borrow. Okay? So your cash value is used as collateral. But the insurance company is never worried about this loan balance, even though you're not making any loan payments. They're never worried about the loan balance because the loan balance is secured by your account balance. Right? You've got collateral, just like a mortgage has collateral, right? If you ever wanted to pay off the loan balance, we could take money from our account balance and pay off our loan balance. But if this is earning 6 and we're only having to pay 5% over here, why would we take this money and pay off this money? It makes no sense. But you could, okay? Do you want me to tell you how to pay off your mortgage? Sell your house, okay? If you sell your house, you can pay off your mortgage because your house is being used as collateral. You're actually not in debt. A mortgage is not debt because you could pay off your mortgage by selling your house and be out of debt if you wanted to, okay? It's the same thing here. We have collateral. Now, going back to what I was saying, the insurance company is going to collect a lot of expenses. They're going to collect a lot of interest. And guess what? Out of the $670,000, how much of that do they have to pay out of their pocket? Out of their pocket, they only have to pay $61,000. The life insurance, the available cash value, that $600,000, that's yours. That's not theirs. That's your money. That's your cash value. Okay? Now again, these are huge numbers. Maybe $30,000 a year as a 50-year-old is more your style. $30,000 a year, same concept. Your expenses are a little lower, your interest is a little less, your account value is a little less, your available cash value is a little less, but your life insurance is also a little less. It's all related. And if we scroll down, you can see that we're getting $40,000 a year in retirement. You would need $1 million for that same $40,000 a year in the 4% rule. This is $40,000 a year. Let's scroll down and look at these final years. Same concept. $40,000 a year. You never interrupted any of the compounding interest. Your loan balance is growing because you never made any payments. Now, I want to use this as another example to talk about what if you want to pay off your loan balance. Let's go back up here. Let's just say that in your 70s, you get an inheritance. If you get an inheritance and you have this large chunk of money, where could you put this large chunk of money and have it grow tax-free the rest of your life? Well, you can't put it into the life insurance because you have a maximum amount that you can put in every year. It would create a MEC. You can't just drop $500,000 into the life insurance or it would create a MEC. But you could drop $500,000 in here to pay off a loan. So we could take that $500,000 of an inheritance, we could put it into the life insurance by paying off the loan. And if we pay off the loan, now our available money is the same as our account value. So now we have more money to use in retirement, income tax free. That's how you could take an inheritance, put it in and have it all grow tax free. And again, once again, I want to reemphasize, you're never in debt. We're never in debt because our loan balance is always less than our account value. So you're never in debt in this particular example, right? All right, now, let's look at somebody who has already money saved. This is a 55-year-old that already has money saved, and you want to move the money over as fast as you can. So let's say that you have $375,000 in a brokerage account or in something that you want to move it into the life insurance. Maybe you have IRA money, 401k money, and you're over 59 and a half. If you're over 59 and a half, you could pay your taxes and move the money over without a penalty. You're going to have to pay your taxes anyway. You have to pay your taxes anyway. So we could move the money over and it would never be taxed again. So in this example, this is the fastest you can move the money over without creating a MEC. Now we have to buy a lot of life insurance, but that life insurance is going to go down. Okay? So we're able to quickly move money in and build up this account value, and then again, borrow the money in retirement. Same story over and over. Okay? All of this money is available for an investment if you want. Okay? You could borrow this money. You could pay back the loans if you want. You could take out a loan, pay back the loans if you wanted to. Okay? And all of your money would continue to compound interest. If you took out a loan, paid back the loan, that's like taking out a home equity loan, paying back the home equity loan. It doesn't affect the growth. The compounding interest is still compounding interest. Okay? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Now, obviously, again, we're talking about some big numbers here. Maybe you have $150,000 a year. All right? Maybe you want to move over $750,000 and then retire on $80,000 a year income tax free. Same concept, but now you have to buy a lot more life insurance, which is fine. Yes, your expenses are higher, but so is your interest and everything else. It's all tied together. Same concept. We could look at a number of different numbers, okay? Lots of different scenarios. Now, if you want to learn how to use this to pay for college, then secret number 3 goes into this in a lot of detail. But I just want to show you as an example of how we're able to put in $32,000 a year for 10 years, take out a bunch of loans to pay back college for some kids. In this example, we've got like 2 kids that we're going to pay back their college loans with this example. Yes, we're going to take out life insurance loans to pay back our college loans. Or you could use this to pay for college directly. But in this example, we're taking out loans clear up here in year 5. You could have a senior in high school and use this. And you could still use this for retirement as well. You can take out loans to pay for college and then take out more loans for retirement. You could take out loans to pay your taxes. You could take out loans to invest. You could take out loans. If you're able to borrow money at a guaranteed 5%, you could take out a loan at 5% and loan it to somebody at 10% for a hard money loan when they're building a house, as an example. You could actually take out a loan to make money. You don't have to just take out a loan to spend in retirement. You could take out a loan to invest and make money. Pretty cool, huh? That's where it really gets fun, okay? So that is just an example of all the different ways that you can use the life insurance in these loans, but it's double your retirement income, right? Double your retirement income. Now, let's step it up a notch and talk about how to triple your retirement income.